St Peter's Chapel is located on the coast in Bradwell-on-Sea, Essex. In order to get there, we begin walking along this pathway. Looking in the fields, we can see the typical pillboxes that you can find all over the English seaside, especially in towns like Bradwell. As we continue down the pathway, we get our first glimpse at St Peter's Chapel. Let's jump to the chapel now and have a look. As we begin to take a walk around the chapel, we can see the stonework in all its glory. Much of the stonework has been replaced over the years, and as you can see near the top, quite a lot of the stonework has been replaced with brickwork in order to support the ceiling. On one side, we see a particularly interesting section of blockwork, which is clearly a lot newer than the older, more worn stone. My theory is that this is where the chapel was opened and used as a stable before its restoration in the 1920s. We can also just about make out the foundations where the walls of the original chapel would have laid. Here's a picture of what it would have looked like in its heyday. As you can tell from this picture, much of the original chapel has been lost over the years. However, the essence still remains inside. Opening the door, we get our first glimpses at the simple but charming chapel. Rectangular in shape and around 5 meters high, the chapel gives off a very sacred feel. Its thick walls also give the chapel a cool temperature, which is welcome relief on a hot day like this. The large decorated crucifix depicts many saints, with St. Peter being at the forefront after Jesus. One of the most interesting parts of this chapel is the altar. You'll notice 3 different stones cemented to the front of this altar. These stones were brought from 3 different places: Lindisfarne, Whitbury and Lastingham, all early sites of Christianity in England, giving this already historic chapel even more history. On that note, let's explore the chapel's history together. The chapel was originally built in 1653 AD, making it 1,347 years old, making it the oldest still standing in England today. Its original purpose was to spread Christianity to the local area. This mission was largely successful and cemented England as a Christian country in the early Middle Ages. Later on in its life, the chapel became the property of the Benedictine monastery. The chapel would again change hands in 1391 AD, where it seemingly disappears from the historical record for around 400 years, although it probably still was used as a church and place of worship during this time. The next time I was able to find record of this chapel was when it was being used as a barn in around the 1700s. Eventually the barn would be restored, and in 1920 it was restored for use as a place of worship once again. Still an active church today, St Peter's Chapel is a very unique chapel to visit, so pop along for a pilgrimage. Directions and information on the chapel will be included in the description below. Thank you for watching. This has been the Unenlightened University, signing off.